Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into a hot topic from the world of gymnastics. Russian gymnast coach Valentina Rodionenko has recently stirred up some controversy by calling for a change in gymnastics rules after Simone Biles' continued success. So, what's the story behind this? Simone Biles is undeniably one of the greatest gymnasts of all time. Her incredible skills and performances have set new standards in the sport. But with her continued dominance, there have been calls for rule changes to address how performances are scored and judged. Valentina Rodionenko, a prominent Russian coach, has voiced her concerns about the current scoring system. She believes that the rules may need adjustments to create a more balanced competition. She proceeded to state that she wants the rules changed after Simone Biles won the World Championships for the sixth time. She said Biles had no great performance, only difficulty. Now, this isn't an unusual reaction in sports, where rule changes often follow concerns about fairness or the need to adapt to evolving talent levels. But given the circumstances of racial bias, then you have to reconsider the entire situation. Now, let's talk about whether this call for change is problematic. It's important to understand the motivation behind these rule changes. On the one hand, adjusting rules can be about making the sport more competitive and fair for all athletes. On the other hand, if the changes are perceived as targeting specific athletes unfairly or influenced by personal biases, that's a different issue. In this case, Rodionenko's request might be aimed at addressing a perceived imbalance in scoring. However, it's crucial that any changes made are transparent and aim to improve the sport for everyone, not just single out top performers like Biles. Because in my opinion, it seems like they are singling out Simone Biles, and it seems to be an issue when it comes to the top performer being a black person. And let's be honest, if the top contender for gymnastics was a white woman, would there be any desire to change the rules? If these other races of women could compete, would there be an outrage? I'm thinking not. And one Twitter user posted this comment on their page stating, "If mediocre white folks don't do nothing else, they'll change the rules and move goalposts and then try to glorify their own mediocrity." And another tweet stated, "The difficulty is the performance. Simone Biles performs incredibly complex stunts with ease and serenity. This petty resentment is inevitable when your peers can't keep up, unfortunately. Rodionenko's best, doped-up athlete couldn't even dream of pulling off what Simone has," they wrote. Now, situations where top black performers in sports has been historical, even when it comes to the changing of rules. For another example, in the early 20th century, the swimming world saw a remarkable talent in a swimmer named Charles Drew. Drew, who was an African American, achieved extraordinary success and set new records in competitive swimming. His skills and performances brought him significant attention, but his success also highlighted racial tensions in the sport. As Drew's dominance became more apparent, some critics suggested that changes needed to be made to the rules and standards in swimming. While these changes were not always explicitly racist, they were often driven by a desire to level the playing field and address the perceived advantage of Drew's exceptional abilities. For example, some swimming competitions adjusted their rules or implemented new regulations that could be seen as targeting the skills of top competitors like Drew. These changes sometimes included modifications to the equipment or techniques allowed, which could impact athletes who excelled in the existing system. The impact of these rule changes on Drew and other black athletes illustrates how racial dynamics can influence sports regulations. While the intention behind these changes might have been to balance competition, they also reflect broader issues of racial inequality and the challenge of competing in a system that is constantly evolving in response to dominant performers. Now, Simone Biles' achievements have certainly raised the bar for gymnastics, and that can sometimes lead to heated debates about how the sport should evolve. But what do you think about the call for rule changes? Do you think it's a fair move, or does it unfairly target top athletes, specifically ones who are black? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you.